Trump administration officials are leaving their homes and displacing generals and very high up military and moving on to military bases in the DC metro area. Why are they doing that? What are they afraid of?
A number of the members of the administration are now living on a military base. What? You didn't know this?
Is anyone else curious why our elected officials are moving into military bases this month? Trump addressed APEC recently and told them that America would be bringing in $20 to $21 trillion from tariffs. America was the hottest thing on earth right now, and everybody couldn't wait to get to America because America was doing the most, greatest, the best job on earth.
We have some big news right now. The Atlantic is exclusively reporting that senior Trump administration officials are living on military housing, taking up housing from senior military leaders.
And they just keep doing it. Seniors official of the Trump regime. I just don't want to call it administration because I don't think it's no longer an administration. I think it's a regime, the orange buffoon regime. They are hiding away in military bases. And I do believe there is for security reasons, and I do believe there is other things that are there that I'm going to explain you towards the end of this video. What is the reason why they are moving to military bases? But one of the major things, apart from security, they also want to make sure that they keep an eye in the high range military people too. Okay, stay towards the end because please make sure that you drop a like. Drop in your comments, what do you think is this all about? Do they know something that we don't know? And please subscribe to my channel. Help us to support liberal media. Subscribing to my channel, giving a like, and comment below. Guys, thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much for the super tents. Thank you so much for the money that you guys send me for coffee. I so highly appreciate that you guys are the best subscribers on the planet. So stay towards the end and help us to support liberal media subscribing to my channel.
A number of the members of the administration are now living on a military base. What? You didn't know this?
No.
Oh, yeah. Stephen Miller just moved there. Kristi Noem lives on a military base. J.D. Vance. Oh, no. Rubio. Pete Hegseth. I mean, for people who love America so much, they seem to be scared of it.
I'm one of those people they call a conspiracy theorist. When I hear things like that, I'm like, what do they know that I don't know?
Well, I don't think it's I don't think it's, it's in the paper, but I don't know.
We have some big news right now. The Atlantic is exclusively reporting that senior Trump administration officials are living on military housing, taking up housing from senior military leaders. And they're literally running out of housing because Trump administration officials, from Stephen Miller to Marco Rubio to others, are living on military housing, and it's unprecedented. There has never been so many administration officials living in these military housing, and the reason why is because they're fearful from protests and more. Previously, we knew that Kristi Noem was living in these military housing installations, but now Stephen Miller is, Marco Rubio is as well. There's no record of ever so many political appointees living in these military installations. It's literally being dubbed the, quote, unofficial green zone, according to The Atlantic, because of how many Trump officials there are living there. Who's paying for it? You taxpayers. Spread the word. Read the full article on The Atlantic's website.
Trump administration officials are leaving their homes and displacing generals and very high up military and moving on to military bases in the DC metro area. Why are they doing that? What are they afraid of? Are they afraid that the policies that they are propping up and putting into place and enforcing without any regard for other people will come back to bite them? Or are they planning to do something so egregious that they need the protection of the military police and the base? Watch this video and tell me what you think about it in the comments.
So, Stephen Miller, Kristi Noem, Marco Rubio, and other regime officials are all moving into housing on military bases, as reported by The Atlantic. The article talks about them displacing generals and the prestige of living on base, but I want to point out that they are all running to secure locations. That means that they feel the threat of civil unrest is so high that they need to hide away on a base protected by military police. I think this is another canary indicator for you as to how bad things are about to get. Because 42 million people are about to lose their most basic lifeline, their SNAP benefits that allows them to buy food. Remember, when the big stupid bill passed, I said we're going to see a huge uptick in this stochastic violence by people who are just out of hope. And that's what we have seen, an increase in political violence, an increase in random mass shootings. And the damage of the Republican bill hasn't even taken effect yet. Now we are about to see their effects taking place. First, it's everyone losing their food benefits, not being able to eat. It's all the federal employees that are working right now not getting paid. Next year, millions are going to be paying hundreds to thousands more per month for their health insurance. I wish I had something good to say. I wish I had something positive to leave you with, but I don't. It's going to get worse. That's why these regime officials are moving to their secure military bases, because they're in the driver's seat and they know that they are about to drive us off the cliff. And my message for everyone who's about to get royally fucked, remember, it is the billionaires and all of their enablers in this regime who are causing the pain. Remember that.
I cannot remember a time in my adult life that the threat of political violence was higher. And that is very sobering. And to see, we have had in the past some defense secretaries, Bob Gates, Jim Mattis, live on military bases. That's not unusual. But now, with people like Stephen Miller moving into the military because of threats on his life, it is akin to, in 2023, the mayor of Tijuana had to move on to a Mexican military base because the cartel was openly saying, we are going to kill you. These are the threats that...
Is anyone else curious why our elected officials are moving into military bases this month? Trump addressed APEC recently and told them that America would be bringing in $20 to $21 trillion from tariffs. America was the hottest thing on earth right now, and everybody couldn't wait to get to America because America was doing the most, greatest, the best job on earth. Now, they're saying that elected officials, Hegseth, Nomi, Stephen Miller, are all moving into military bases. That is so bizarre. Why would elected officials who have done the most for this country, taking care of illegal immigration and the threat from national terrorists, international terrorists, but you're moving into military bases to protect yourself from who? The citizens of the United States? That seems counterproductive. If you're doing an awesome job, you would be out in the streets, high-fiving people, having meetings and congratulatory lunches and dinners, but you're not. You're moving into military bases to assumably protect yourself from the American people because of the backlash from all the changes and all the bull crap that you're doing. I find it so crazy that we are able to give money to foreign countries, Qatar, to Argentina, billions of dollars, to Israel, but yet we can't feed our own citizens. We can buy jets, $172 million worth of jets. We can build ballrooms, $250 million. We can give billions to countries, but we can't seem to find the money to feed our own citizens, the people who pay taxes. We have no money for these people, right? I heard the president tell one reporter that she didn't know what she was talking about Argentina, how they were struggling to live, how they were struggling to survive. Didn't he just round up homeless in Washington, D.C. who were struggling to live, struggling to survive? Didn't he throw away their personal possessions, all they had in the world? And didn't he relocate them to some unknown place that nobody has heard of or seen since?
As of October, there's a major story making waves. High-ranking officials from the Trump administration, military, housing for security reasons. The officials involved include White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, former South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, and former defense. These military residences, originally designed for senior, but why are they moving into military housing, and why is everyone talking about it? What's really behind the move? According to The Atlantic, Stephen Miller's home in Arlington, Virginia, has been a target Charlie Kirk's assassination in March 2025. The situation became even more tense, and Ka, Stephen's wife, publicly expressed concerns about their safety on social media. As safety concerns grew, the meat and tights, and it's not just Miller. Other big names like Kristi Noem and Marco Rubio also decided to move into these military homes for similar security reasons. These houses, originally reserved for high-ranking government shutdown and a growing need for housing among military families, this has sparked a lot of criticism about resource allocation. Public reaction. Is this fair? Naturally, this decision has caused a lot of debates. On one hand, critics argue that during a government shutdown, when federal employees are waiting for their paychecks, it seems out of touch for top officials to be living in military housing. Many people feel like this move highlights how resources might not be fairly distributed. On the other hand, some argue that given the current political climate and the security risks, these officials' safety, especially in such a tense environment, has to be As of now, the Millers have listed their $3.75 million home in Arlington for sale, but the specific details of where other officials are living remain private. As this situation unfolds, it could have a significant impact on how the public views the Trump administration. So, what do you think?
Hey, it's Joe from Georgia. So interesting news coming out today about the use of military housing. Well, senior military housing is usually pretty nice, folks. I mean, it is. I was in the military. They always had nice places to live. Well, guess who's taking up that housing? Well, it's a lot of the Trump administration officials, to include Marco Rubio, to include the Secretary of State, to include Stephen Miller, his right-hand man, and several other senior administration officials are living on military installations in military housing that is provided. Well, in one thing, it's knocking out people who could live in that housing, and I can tell you, military housing is sometimes tough to get when you're in the military. But the reason they're hiding on military installations is because they can't take the heat from people who are protesting against them. So you've got these cowards who are hiding among the military people. These political appointees are hiding among military families on military bases. It says a lot.
All right, y'all, time to strap in because things are getting strange here. Here's a wild headline for your ass. Senior appointees from the Donald Trump orbit. Yes, I'm talking heavy hitters like Stephen Miller, Kristi Noem, Marco Rubio. They're doing what now? Oh yeah, they're moving into military housing on actual U.S. military bases. Yeah, I know what you're thinking though. Did I just wander into a reboot of Arrested Development General's Row edition? Because yes, General's Row is now more like MAGA's new zip code. So here's the deal. They say it's for security, protests, threats, yada, yada, yada. But let's be real. When your driveway comes with barbed wire and missiles maybe nearby, you've definitely left the mother-loving hood. Meanwhile, real generals are like, excuse me, we need to sleep somewhere too, Housing shortage much? So what's the big picture here? 2 words. Power move. It's a physical claim to territory. Definitely symbolic, don't you think? Look, we're not just in DC, we're inside the fortress now too. But here's the flip side. When civilian officials start living where the Army High Command used to live, lines kind of start getting blurry. Let's be real. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene had something to say about this on Bill Maher's show. Take a look at this ish.
A number of the members of the administration are now living on a military base. What? You didn't know this?
No.
Stephen Miller just moved there. Kristi Noem lives on a military base. J.D. Vance. Oh, no. Rubio. Pete Hegseth. I mean, for people who love America so much, they seem to be scared of it.
I'm one of those people they call a conspiracy theorist. When I hear things like that, I'm like, what do they know that I don't know?
Well,
you see, when we all start to agree with somebody who thinks a Havana Nugget ringtone is playing on repeat on lasers out in space, then you know something is definitely off, baby. But in all seriousness, my call to action for you is this: watch closely. Because this isn't just about who lives where. It's about who's operating inside the house, not just knocking on the door.
Why are Trump officials moving into military bases? Why? The Atlantic reports senior Trump officials like Stephen Miller and Marco Rubio have moved into military base housing in DC. You know, the kind of historic homes that normally go to top uniformed officers, as they should. Just like, that's not a metaphor. Actual houses on Fort McNair's General's Row. And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, remember her? She's been living rent-free in the Coast Guard Commandant's residence at Joint Base. Yeah. The Commandant's house, while the service scrambles to justify it. Even the Washington Post says insiders are not thrilled, and why would they be thrilled? Meanwhile, the Pentagon's running a barracks housing task force because troops are dealing with mold, broken plumbing, and shortages. So soldiers wait while political appointees get keys to the nicest places on bases. Also, remember the 136 or 7,000 in upgrades for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's official residence in Fort McNair. So the Army paid for it. Raising a bit more transparency questions, don't you think? Just bottom line, when taxpayers pay for military housing and it becomes a refuge for politicians to avoid protests, is that supporting the troops? That's cutting the line. Who approved these moves? What's the rent? Is there rent? And who was supposed to get these homes? If you think military housing should prioritize military families, share this.
Did you know that top Trump officials are now living on U.S. military bases? Yeah, civilian advisors living on U.S. United States military bases. They moved out of their Washington, D.C. homes to live on military bases. Why, you're probably asking? Let's break this all down. It all started after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and soon after that, protesters started targeting the White House advisor Stephen Miller and his wife Katie. Protesters then got outside his neighborhood in Virginia, said that he was like one of the mustache people, and now the Millers, alongside with at least 6 other top Trump officials, are quietly moving into secure military housing across Washington, D.C. These people include Kristi Noem, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, and others. And these houses are usually reserved for generals, and so they were pushed out to put in these political appointees, and experts say that this is like the first time we've ever seen something like this. But the reason for all this is quite clear. The threats are escalating because after Charlie Kirk's death, we've seen the Trump administration label Antifa a domestic terrorist group despite no legal framework on that label. And with ICE agents going through cities, with the National Guard going and being put into cities, and other things happening, including, a government shutdown, people losing SNAP benefits, people are getting angry of the people who are making the decisions. And look, in history, we have seen sometimes these figures go into these bases for a temporary thing, but now it looks permanent, which should show you something. That if your people are that angry with you, that you have to live full-time at a military base, clearly you're doing something wrong. And there's more to this story. The Atlantic put out a great article called "The Top Trump Military Officials Are Moving into Military Bases," and I would suggest you read it. It is quite interesting. I'll be sure to keep you guys updated on this though, so please do share my videos and follow me for more.
Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy Stephen Miller and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem now live on military bases. They are among at least 6 senior Trump administration appointees to do so in the Washington area, leaving them both isolated from the Capitol they helped govern and sheltered from political violence, but also protest. Joining us now, staff writer for The Atlantic, Tom Nichols, and staff writer for The Atlantic, Michael Schur. Michael, what's the deal with this?
Well, some of these people had moved on to bases months ago. Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, Pete Hegseth, the Defense Secretary, I think they just like the convenience of it. Some of this is because of concerns over security threats and increased precautions that were actually taken after the Charlie Kirk assassination.
When my mutual told me about this, I swear to God, I did not believe it. I had to search for it. I'm like, no, this could not be happening. Please share, save, engage, comment, get this out there. This needs to be out there. Post about it. Top Trump officials are moving onto military bases. They're taking the homes that previously housed senior officers on military bases, so-called for their protection and their security and their safety. These people include Marco Rubio, Stephen Miller, Kristi Noem, and others. What is going on? This is not normal behavior. Is this setting the stage for something greater to be happening in this country? We need to be watching for these type of things. Please share this information.
Multiple senior Trump officials are now moving into military bases. Here's what we know. Multiple senior officials in the Trump administration have relocated to military bases in the Washington, D.C. area amid reported concerns for their personal safety, according to The Atlantic. Top Trump advisor Stephen Miller and his family recently moved into military housing after their neighbors in Arlington, Virginia protested their presence. The Millers have since listed their home for $3.75 million. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is residing in a government-owned residence in Joint Base Anacostia Bowling, a home typically used by the Coast Guard Commandant. A Department of Homeland Security spokesperson said Noem is, quote, paying fair market rent for the property. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth are both living on Fort McNair's General's Row near Buzzard Point. Rubio reportedly lives there alone, while his family remains in Florida. A Defense Department official said Hegseth pays around $4,655.70 per month for his residence. Army Secretary Daniel P. Driscoll has also moved into military housing at Joint Base Meyer-Henderson Hall, which he shares with Navy Secretary John Feeling.
We have some big news right now. The Atlantic is exclusively reporting that senior Trump administration officials are living on military housing, taking up housing from senior military leaders, and they're literally running out of housing because Trump administration officials, from Stephen Miller to Marco Rubio to others, are living on military housing.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think this is just for security? Oof, this is so deep. Okay, this is deep. First, I think one of the main reasons why they are moving to military bases, yes, is for security, because they are afraid of people hurting them, but it's not the American people. They are afraid of Israeli people hurting them. They are afraid of Russian people hurting them. Okay, this is deeper than what it looks in the surface. Okay, they are afraid of these people, these governments doing something to them. That's what they are really afraid of it. And yes, it has everything to be with security, for security reason. And also, I feel like we are just in the beginning of the Trump administration. You guys know that I like it. I like to call him Trump. We are just in the beginning of the Trump administration. So major things are about to happen. Major developments are about to happen. Also, Trump give the opportunities of his friends, the billionaire friends, to become a military, like an honor military, if you have enough money to afford that. Okay, I feel like the corruption in this government, in the Trump regime is so much that they may be afraid of what people can do to them. But if you think something different, just please comment below. What do you think is happening with the high senior officers? Okay, I totally think the little Rubio, little Marco, little Marquitos, little Marco is hiding away from other governments. Okay, they are afraid that what happened to Charlie Kirk can happen to them. That's the real fear. And they feel like the Secret Service is not gonna be enough to protect them. That's what they are hiding in military bases. That's what they are doing, all of that. So please don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and going to the gym in a few minutes. I told you guys that I've been going to the gym and trying to lose some weight, to eat more healthy, and in this journey to improve. I don't have a bad health. I just in the journey to just build a better body and just feel better about myself. I feel really good about myself, by the way, but I feel like I need some improvement if I can do it. So I'm on my way to the gym. I'm just gonna go to the gym in a few minutes. If I can take a picture, I will take a picture and put it in my post. Maybe you will be able to see the picture before you see this video. But I just wanted to say thank you for staying towards the end. Help us to support liberal media, subscribing to my channel, and just leave me your real opinion. What do you guys think? Okay, just tell me down below what do you guys think about all of these. Okay, you guys take care. Thank you. Bye bye.